Hi guys, Jordan from P&P Campers here. I'm just going to be doing your handover video on your Swift Mondial. So if we're going to start from the outside, it's not been cleaned under the bonnet or outside just yet, so don't worry about that. You've got your engine battery on the left hand side here, and the isolator switch which was asked for. So if you turn that off, that turns all negative off from the battery, and you won't be able to start or get any sort of drain from the battery itself. So that's there. The brake fluid attached to the servo down the back, just there. Power steering fluid in this reservoir here. Your engine oil, the dipstick's here, but also it is the way to fill the engine oil up. So you undo this cap and then you get access to filling the engine oil up. So it's quite a neat little idea. The engine coolant is just here, so that's the pink fluid between the max and the minimum. Check that when it's cold, as well as the oil. And then you've got your washer fluid out here on the right hand side. So we carry on to the driver's side now. I'll just show you inside the door. We've got the lights here on the right hand side, 5-speed manual gearbox, indicators, washers, and the one at the back here is basically your main beam, or full beam, sorry. Air conditioning switch is over there on the left hand side, so it's an unusual extra to have on these, but it does work as it should. The power, the fan power setting on the right hand side, temperature, and the fan settings are where the actual air is going. Hazards are here in the middle, and you've got a single DIN Pioneer head unit there as well. So yeah, like I said, the bonnet release just down here, and the handbrakes on the right hand side of these, so just be careful when you jump out, because if you catch yourself it does hurt. Not funny, but it does hurt. So fresh water cap is out here on the right hand side, so you just push in and round to the left to open that up, and push in and round to the right to lock it back up, and then you put your key in there, turn it 90 degrees or 45 degrees, whatever, and it'll lock up. I'll just have a look on the floor. What have we got? Nothing on this side. No. Your boiler, so your hot water boiler, this is the vent for it. So if you had it on, you can check that it's definitely on by feeling around the outside at the top. Your hookup point is there, so if you're at home or in your campsite, that's where you pop your hookup in, and then you do have to give it a little tap like you saw there to sort of properly close it up. Your heater, so your gas heater, this is the thing for that. So if you've got that on, again, same kind of thing, pop your hand underneath this one and you'll feel hot air coming out. These two vents here that say Electrolux, that's your fridge. So I've got it on gas at the moment and I can feel hot air coming out through the top of this vent. So that's, again, the same as the rest of these two. That's the way you can double check that that's definitely on. Bike rack, as discussed, that's that there fitted, you know, really nicely, quite smart, I think, actually really solid. They just sort of clamp on from the sides of the door. But yeah, that's all there as it should be. The toilet, if I just grab the key, should have been better prepared really. Okay, so the toilet, you see what I did there? So you just turn that, take the key out, and then you'll be able to open this by pushing that button in. So you've got a separate flush in here, so that's this fluid up here, so you get to that by taking this cap off, and you can drain it out, the flush fluid, by pulling out from this here and then pulling down, then that will drain out like that. All right, you just put it up to like a sort of a level like that, it'll go back down again, push it in up there first, all the way up, and then push it into that gap. To actually take the toilet out itself, the cassette, you just pull out. I must have the flap open, but you basically push that little lever down, pull it all the way out, and then when you are emptying these out, you need to hold the little yellow button down at the back, and that's it. All right, but I'll show you the reason it's not coming out is because I've got the flap open inside the toilet itself, and I'll show you that in just a second. All right, and then to close it back up again, lock it like that, button doesn't press in. That's it, locked up. Okay, so I don't really want to make it too dirty because it's all been cleaned, but there you go, that's that. Okay, so up here you've got your sort of main control panel, so that's your sort of Swift style control panel. On the left hand side here is your battery condition, so that's your voltage, and it's showing that the leisure battery, even though the engine's not running and the hookup's not plugged in, so it's not charging, it's holding a really good charge up in the green there, even though I've got all these lights on and all that kind of stuff. So that means the leisure battery is in really good condition. I've got it aiming down here at the caravan, which means that the leisure battery is powering the van. If I went up to the top, that would switch over to the engine battery powering all the lights and everything in the van. So obviously you want to leave it down on caravan, otherwise you're going to end up draining your engine battery out. The button in the middle is purely for your pump, so when you finish with that, switch her off. You know, if you want to use your sort of your kitchen sink and your shower and all that, you need to have that on, but when you finish with it, just switch it off. Your wastewater check is here, so push up for wastewater, so there's nothing in there, and push down for fresh. And by the way, the drain for those are just down on this side underneath, just a little sort of turning knob, so you have one blue one and one grey one. If I just double check that, make sure I've got that right. I'll tell you things that aren't true. So okay, yeah, so that's your fresh drain just there, and then your waste is this pipe here, which is just there, so it's black for the waste, sorry. All right, so you just pull that out from there, and then you'll be able to drain that out. Okay, so I'm just going to shake myself off because I really don't want to make it dirty in there. Oh, just whilst we're here as well, I just realised I missed this. So this is the ignition, this is your diesel filling point, and you need the ignition key to go in there to turn that and sort of take it out. And to open the actual flap, you just push on this left hand side like that, and that'll open up. So actually, I'm going to leave my shoes just on the corner because I really don't want to make it messy. Okay, so yeah, so waste level, fresh level, and that comes up on this one up here, and then this one constantly shows you your battery level. Windows, really easy to use. You literally just open these up, push it out to wherever you like, and then set this, tighten that up so that it stops it from falling back in on itself, like that. And then the skylight, main skylight, probably quite important to show you. Push in and around to open those up, and then just push that all the way up like that, and that'll stay up on its own. Obviously not right now because it's raining. Close those up, that's it, locked up. This window here, another pretty standard motorhome window, but this one just squeezes in and opens up. Yeah, so that's about all there is to the windows. I mean, this one here is exactly the same as the one over the door, and all of the blinds are really easy. They literally just pull down like that and they go back up on their own. And then these ones, you do have to squeeze these two buttons in to lift it up to where you like it. Yeah, okay. I have had all of this telly on. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to drain the battery out, because I've just literally had, you know, it's just been off for a couple of days obviously and all that, but I've had it all on and it works really well, as well as this actually. If you turn this on, you get like you can actually use the radio from the leisure battery, so you can go through and choose what you want on, which is really cool, and turn it off from this button up here. Turns it all off. So yeah, that's that. You've got a 3-burner hob, so that's gas obviously. You've got a grill and oven as well, so that opens up from the right hand side here. Grill sits at the top, oven at the bottom, and the grill and oven are on here. All right, so oh, actually I've just told a lie there. So this is a style of oven, so it says grill oven, so that the choice was, when you were buying one of these, do you want a grill and oven or just a grill? And obviously this one was made with just the grill, so this one is just literally, it says grill / oven, but that means just the grill up the top there, all right, because there's no oven at the back. All right, I think I wrote that on the hab sheet actually, but yeah, just wasn't made with one. Okay, so all of these have got thermocouples on them. There's no ignition, so you do need a little clicker or a lighter to light these up. But basically the thermocouple, when you've lit it up, the thermocouple will notice the hot air, and if somehow the wind or someone blew the flame out, the thermocouple would stop that gas coming through. So if it was unburnt, the thermocouple would stop that from coming through. basically meaning that you can't fill the van up with unburnt gas because the thermocouples work as they should. Down here, these are your gas isolator manifold. So there is a little diagram up here which tells you which manifold is for which. And basically, if you had a problem with any of your individual appliances, you can turn them off one by one down here. Don't worry about the yellow one, that's just like a main isolator for everything. But really, you can just turn your gas bottle off if you want to isolate everything. Your RCD and MCBs is in here, so if you put a dodgy plug into somewhere, that's where it would trip. Little bank of fuses down there, and then this here is basically your battery charger for when your hookup's plugged in. So, you know, if you wanted to charge the battery up with the hookup, that is the charger there. Close that up. That's just storage. All right, so I don't really need to show you around the sink because I think you've seen a sink before. But you know, it's just literally the only thing I do need to show you actually that is quite important with those is if you're going to use the hot water, which I'll show you how to do in a minute, you need to come in here and switch the pump on and just pull the water through until you get sort of smooth flowing water. All right, so if I just show you, turn the pump on, which you can hear straight away started up, pour the water, and it might spit a little bit when it first comes through, which is totally normal. Just let that come through just for a minute, just till until you've got nice smooth flowing water like this. And until you've got that, you can't use your boiler. Okay, well you can, but you shouldn't. So go through hot and cold, just make sure that you've got no real big pockets of air like that. So that's happy there, that's, you know, there's no air in that system, that's fine. And then once you've done that, come back over here, push the pump off, and then once you've done that, basically what that means is that you can then go ahead and start using your hot water boiler and heat the water up. So if I show you how to do that now, whilst we're on the subject, this little sort of unit down here, the Truma Ultra Store, is a really simple unit. You've got a temperature dial in the middle, so that's 30 to 70, and you can choose whatever you like on that. And literally, if you've got your gas on, which I'll show you in a second, all you need to do is this. Now you just need to watch that green light. I mean, I heard that light up anyway, but watch that green light, make sure it doesn't go out. And if you see that red light at the top there come on, that means that the flame didn't light up. And all that means is, it doesn't mean it's broken, it just means that it's not lit up that first time. So you just need to turn it off and back on again. But that one's lit straight up. And after about 20 minutes or so, you have 50 degrees water, or whatever temperature you set it at. So yeah, really, really, really easy. And I didn't have a single problem with it when I was doing the hab check. Sometimes I need a little blowing out with the compressor, but that was perfect. All right, so that's just, you know, useful to know that it was fine in the first place. So if you want to turn that off, switch it down, you hear it drop out on the actual boiler itself, and that's it. That's the water heater. So in here, this is your gas locker. So it's a little bit beaten up, but that's because you're throwing gas bottles in and out there all the time. So there's not really much you can do about that, to be honest. It's always going to look like that. So your actual gas bottle itself is a 3.9 kilo propane bottle. Now in this van, you could use propane or butane, but just for the sake of, you know, being a slightly bigger bottle, I fitted this 3.9 propane just to give you a bit more time with this bottle. The hose is new as well, so that's 2019 dated. I know it's a couple of years old, but it is new hose. So basically, to turn it on, anti-clockwise round to the left, okay, like that. And if you go all the way until you can't go any further, not really hard, but until you can't go any further, when you come back into this locker to then turn this bottle off, if you can't remember which way to go, you can only go one way anyway, because you've already turned it all the way on. All right, so you'll know that clockwise round to the right is definitely off. All right, but I'm going to leave that on for a minute because I've got the fridge on at the moment, so I'll show you how that works. I'll do that now, actually. So there's a few ways to use this fridge. It's a three-way fridge. You've got a couple of little diagrams down here on the left. So this left-hand side here is your electric way of using the fridge, and on the right-hand side is the gas, but I'll show you that in a sec. I'll just sit down just so I can actually show you it properly. So basically the red switch over here will only light up when your engine's running. So that means that the fridge is cooling down via the 12 volt, via the battery. And the green one will only light up when you've got a hookup cable in. So obviously that's only working when your hookup's in, so that's a 240. The 240 and the gas are brilliant at cooling the fridges down, and they'll do that totally on their own. But the 12 volt won't get the fridge cold on its own. It's not possible. You know, if you fill the fridge up with warm things and thought, oh, I'll leave the engine running with the 12 volt on for a little while, it doesn't work like that. It won't get cold enough. What you need to do is get the fridge cold first, either via the hookup overnight or something like that, or the gas. Again, overnight really, I mean, or at least a good few hours. And then just switch it over to 12 volt for when you're driving only. And when you get to where you're going, choose one of the other two again. You know, it's pretty simple when you get the hang of it, but it's just the fact that this one here won't get the fridge cold on its own. You do need to get it cold first via one of the others. But yeah, it's brilliant for keeping the temperature cold when you're driving, but it's just not good enough to do it on its own. On the right hand side here, we've got the gas side of things. First off, this dial in the middle is pretty unnecessary, except for if you're in 40-degree heat or something, for example, a really hot day, and you couldn't get it to light up when it's on 5. If you just come here and turn it all the way down low until you can't go any further, then try it again, and once it is lit, then you can turn it back up again. All right, so it's just basically it's just overloading it with gas, and so you know that's just something to remember. So to actually light it up, I'll turn it off. So you've got the igniter going again now, yeah? So the igniter basically has realised that there's no flame there, and it thinks it's going to try and light up. All right, so as long as you've got this igniter on and it's clicking, push this in and round to the left. So it's lit straight up, and I know that because that igniter is stopped. And if I slowly let that out, check the igniter's not going again, and then that's definitely lit on gas. Now there's two ways, like I said, that you can check this. You can go around the outside and put your hand over the vent and make sure it's hot, or you can have a look inside that hole there where you can see the nice blue flame down the back. All right, so that's how you use it on gas. And like I said, I mean, really, being totally honest, you would notice the fridge getting really cold, if there was nothing in it, this is, after 2 hours probably. But if you have, if the fridge is loaded with stuff, then really you've got to leave it overnight for it to get properly cold. It's just not, you know, you can't expect it. It's only a little tiny gas flame in the back of that, so it's going to take a good few hours to start working. Drop this down with this little thing up here, the little catch, like that. Move the tap over and the top. Oh, just got that wet. I'll do that in a second when I've got two hands. Yeah, so that's all of that side. When you're plugged in on hookup and you want to heat your water up via the hookup rather than the gas, you've got this switch down here. So that's the Ultra Store again. So it's still the Truma Ultra Store, but it's just the way to use it on electric only. All right, so I have written on the hab sheet itself how many amps this pulls. I think it's about 2 amps or something. But anyway, if you're hooked up and you don't fancy using your gas to heat the water up, just literally flick that button down and then wait, again, probably about half an hour or so, a little bit longer for the electric, but not very long. And yeah, so that'll get your water heated up pretty quickly. Yeah, nice and efficient. I'll just turn this gas bottle off now, so just go round to the right, clockwise, all the way. It doesn't have to be really tight when you turn them off as well, by the way. But obviously make sure that's off before you start driving. And then the last thing to show you, I've just realised to turn the gas off, but the last thing to show you is your heating. So this is obviously gas only. So all you need to do, this is Trumatic again, so it's Truma, same as the water heater. So if you go down on the right hand side, then basically just loads of cool air starts to get pumped around through this vent here. And that's it, just air on its own. And if I go up, then the flame will light up, and then you'll start getting hot air pumping around the van. All right, as simple as that. And then you've got your temperature dial here again, and you got small flame or big flame. All right, that is it. There's really nothing else to it. So you leave that down on small flame, back to the middle. That's it, that's off. All right, so I think I've pretty much covered everything I can. I mean, you know, the things like the windows and the blinds and lights and all that kind of stuff, really it's up to you to work out what you like and what you don't like. So I'll leave that to you guys, and if you don't have any questions on the video or things you know think I've missed, then we look forward to seeing you soon to collect your van. But if you do, then just let us know and we'll go through anything you need. Thanks very much.